Hey, it's your girl. It's Queen Elsa Haru. So, I just got back home and I told myself I would do more videos. And so, as topics come across my lap that amuse me, um, I said that I would speak on them. So, here's another one for today. Might not see me for another week, but here goes. Okay, so I've heard this so many times. Oh my God, so many times. People will say to me over the course of the years, people who have a spiritual gift should never charge for it. They should help people freely out of the kindness of their heart because it's a gift from God. Now, mind you, I don't know where this came from. I believe it was made up by people who wanted free things. To be honest with you, I think it was made up by people who want free readings from their witch friends, from people that want free items, free stuff from their witch friends. That's what it seemed like to me, because I can't see any other reason why somebody would make up something so ridiculous. And I think it comes out of mostly the mouths of New Agers. So, I take it with a grain of salt. But the bottom line is this: it's completely erroneous. Every gift you have is a gift from God. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Oprah Winfrey, all these people have gifts from God, and they get millions of dollars for them. Now, I'm not saying that a priest or priestess or a spiritualist should charge thousands of dollars for a 60-minute reading. I'm not saying that at all, really. Everybody has to look at your own conscience with that aspect of it. But I just didn't want people out there who are searching to hear that nonsense and really believe it. Or if you're somebody who is a practitioner and you're working, I don't want you to get discouraged because you hear that. Because I'm telling you, that's just what people say when they're either ignorant or they're trying to get free things from you. Users say that, and people who don't know any better, period. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't just talk out of my behind because I feel like it or I read some things on Facebook. I have 2 degrees in African studies, a MA and a BA, both from Temple University, one of the most radical think tanks in the world at the time when I was there. I'm not sure what's going on now, but radical. And I've read about 300 books on the subject of African and Africana studies. And the priest and priestess of any town was always compensated. They almost never had another job unless it was just something else they wanted to do. For example, the priestess was usually a midwife. That was usually one of your job duties. But the priestess, and it depends on, like I said, what culture it is. Everybody did it a little bit different, but the basic gist was the same. You were a spiritual worker. You were a spiritual leader. You did the counseling services. You may or may not have done the midwifing services. You did the spells. You did the cleansings, the baths, all those kind of things. That's what you did. And the people didn't always give you cash, because money is something that our ancestors didn't always use. Our ancestors used bartering a lot. So as a priestess, many times you didn't get cash, but what you got was taken care of. You didn't have to work. You didn't need cash, quite frankly, because every Thursday, for example, Kofi from around the corner, from the other hut over, or with the other, I don't know how they do their blocks, but the other area over would come by every Thursday and bring you some milk. And you did his wife's work, his work, his wife's work, his family's work. His son would come bring you some fruits and vegetables. His grandmother would come bring you a quilt that she made. Everybody would come from the village and they would bring you things, and they would give you things that were the equivalent of money. And this is in most of the indigenous cultures that you go to. There are exceptions, because as we know in anthropology, when you study things like that, different things happen. But typically the priest, the priestess, the medicine women, the shamans, they were taken care of by the community, and they did their work. They appeased the gods, they did the rituals. That is what they did. So as a spiritual worker in modern times, or as a psychic, if you want to use that word, you are supposed to be compensated. You're not supposed to be staying up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, helping people, doing things for them, and not getting any kind of compensation for it, just because you have a gift and you're supposed to do it the kindness of your heart. Oprah does not run Harpo out, if she still has Harpo. I think she sold it. But Oprah did not run Harpo out of the kindness of her heart. Michael Jordan did not shoot three throws out of the kindness of his heart. Bill Gates did not, build Microsoft out of the kindness of his heart. These people all had visions, they had plans, they executed them, and now they are, in a lot of cases, very rich for it. Now, you don't have to become very rich as a spiritual worker, but you do deserve an energy exchange. So if you're doing free readings or things for your friends, they should be giving you things like you exchange. Okay, well, I'll give you some readings, you give me a ride to the mall. I'll give you some readings, and you pick up some flowers from my table, things like that. If you want to do it along those lines, or if it's cash, it's cash. It's whatever the energy exchange is that you want. But don't let people tell you, oh, because you have a gift from God, you're not supposed to take money. That's a lie, and they're really trying to use you, or they're just ignorant and heard that from somebody else who was a user. Either one or the two. Because the bottom line is that if you take this all the way back to the first priests, priestesses, medicine women, they all are currently, and they all were compensated. If you come to witches or priestesses or shamans, now they're compensated on the continent. They're compensated wherever they are. The shamans at Machu Picchu are compensated in some kind of way. You go on this thing. What do you think they're eating for free? Like what do you think? Whatever your gift is, some of the times you can, you're supposed to do the energy exchange for it all the time, period. And some people, I've met people who chose to do their gifts for free. I have. I know people who are retired and just like doing readings. I know people who just read their friends and family for free. They don't like doing, other people. Lots of people do different things, and that's up to them. If they don't want an energy exchange, that's fine. That's up to them. But don't let people tell you that it's inappropriate for you to want an energy exchange, because all the way back to ancient times you would have received, and in current times, if you go to Africa right now, you would receive an energy exchange. You're not going to walk into a priestess's home in Africa and say, please help me, I need your help, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, sure, and not expect some kind of energy exchange of some kind. Even if you come get help and come back with the exchange later, some kind of way there's going to be an exchange. And I think that it's really inappropriate, and it's really insulting to expect your spiritual leaders to work for you and to do things for you, and just like for free. The pastor doesn't work for free. The pastor gets a lot of money. The pastor gets way more money than I can even imagine. I'm not the kind of person who believes in gouging prices. I believe in a fair exchange. So, for example, if somebody comes and gets a reading, I'm not going to charge them $4,000. I've seen it before, but I don't think that's not me. You come to me for a reading, I'm going to do a fair energy exchange, $65, $68, maybe, let's see, you give me some things I need, and I exchange it for you. Like, for example, let's say that you work at a deli. Oh, Queen, I'll bring you $70 worth of meats if you'll do my reading. Bet. Bring me some bologna and some cheese, yo. So there's some kind of energy exchange to go on. Oh, I'll come do your hair if you do my reading. Cool. Whatever you're willing to exchange for that energy as a person. I believe in a fair exchange. I don't believe in, charging somebody $4 million for a 25-minute reading. Things like that. I don't think I wouldn't do that out of kindness of my heart. Even when it comes to goods and services, if I was, if I had a product, I wouldn't be selling, like, for example, a $500 pair of pants. That's not me. I like my work to be affordable, so that the average person, if they want to access it, can access it and get their help. Now, there are other priestesses who don't think that way. They charge more prices. They do what they do. Everybody has to make their own way with that. But in my personal belief, I believe in a fair exchange. Whatever we deem as, to be fair. I don't always do energy exchanges, to be honest with you. I do them when I want to. If somebody has something that I want, I'll be like, how about we trade for a reading? I'll have that conversation with them. Typically, I'm more of a cash person, because at the end of the day, I can't pay the light bill with bologna and cheese. I just can't. So if you want to be able to come over and get a reading in the light with some lights on, then we're going to have to go the other direction. So it just depends. Like I said, I believe in being a fair person. So at the end of the day, yes, I believe in being fair, but yes, I believe in energy exchange. And no, it is not true that spiritual leaders are supposed to give you free services. Go tell pastor that. Tell pastor you're not tithing and you want to be married and you want to be baptized and you're coming every Sunday and you're not giving him anything. You're not getting no services, and pastor might tell you off. You see what I'm saying? But it's just funny to me, as African people, I'll hear this from other African people and I'm like, what? Where did you get that from? Or sometimes, like I said, the new agers will say something like that to me, and I'm looking at them like, where did you get that information from? Because if you go back to Africa, if you go back to the indigenous cultures, if you even go back to Europe, where they had, their witches and they were doing their thing, none of these people were doing free work for other people. They did free work for themselves, like I do, but you don't do free work for other people. You get some kind of an energy exchange. Money is energy. We didn't even always have money. Sometimes, like I said before, it was barter, and that's the energy. So I don't know why people try to run that game, because straight up it's a game. But you don't fall for that, and I don't fall for that. That's BS. If you're a reader, if you're, a practitioner, and you're doing work for people for free because you want to, that's fine. That's your prerogative. If you're charging astronomical prices and people are paying them, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have to go to bed with at night. But don't think that you're going to come to people and shame them. Like, oh, well, you have a gift from God. You should help me for free. Go tell Michael Jordan to shoot a free throw for you for free. You do that. And if he do it, I still ain't doing it. I'm still not doing it, because at the end of the day, I believe in fair trade. Nobody works for free. You don't go to your job for free. You don't go to Five Guys and put your little hat on for free. You don't go to Walmart and stand at the doorway for free. But you think that somebody's supposed to take their time and their effort and their energy and do it for free because that's just what you think, because it's a spiritual thing? No. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that for anybody. So stop telling those lies to yourself and others, because it's absolutely not the truth. So I just wanted to clear that up for people in case they were thinking about it. I know a lot of people struggle with that. I know a lot of readers who struggle with charging because of that. And let me tell you, for the last part of this segment, let me tell you what happened to me when I did that. When I first started, I didn't know this. I didn't research any of this at that time. When I first started, all I wanted to do was learn to read. I wanted to read people. I wanted to learn the cards. I was a tarot, and I still am a tarot freak. I love it. So I didn't care. I would read anybody who would let me read them just to get my understanding. It was all about practicing, And what happened was that over time, I realized that people were using me. People were using me for readings. For example, they would pretend to be my friends and be like, hey girl, how you doing? What's been up with you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm peeping game like, okay. And then, oh yeah, so time acting up. Can you please give me a reading? And it came to the point where every time they call me, they're calling me for a reading. They're not really asking me about me. They might say in the beginning, oh, how are you? But it's not really about me and what's going on with me. Like if I say, oh girl, I'm not feeling too good. Oh, I'm sorry about that. You think you can give me a reading? And people, like, I had people actually make friends with me to get free readings. Like, didn't like me at all, just wanted me to exploit me for my gift. So what made me end up not doing free work is that I realized that there were all these people who wanted to manipulate my gift. So it was like, look, if you want to have access to my gift, then we're going to have to exchange. Because what happened is that I found myself drained. People will call me 2-3 o'clock in the morning needing services. Their friend did this, the boyfriend cheated, the dog ran away, I can't find my cat, can you use your pendulum to find them? All kinds of stuff was going on. And here I am, stupid me, using my cars, using my pendulums, doing the work. And then one day it dawned on me, like, you draining yourself, working a 40-hour-a-week job that you can't stand, draining yourself to help people who don't care nothing about you. And at the end of the day, if you called them and needed help, they wouldn't even answer the phone. Straight up. So I was like, okay. So it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna just chill, and if people want to get readings, then we need to exchange energy. And that was it. Let me tell you, the amount of people calling my phone went drastically down. I still had a lot of clients, but all them freebies, all them middle of the night cryings stopped. They stopped. Because at the end of the day, these people want your help, but they're really not always willing to pay for the help. They just want to get the free gifts from you. And the clients that were willing to have an energy exchange are the ones who you keep. So that is why I came up with that understanding. And then, like I said, I started to research it and understand how other medicine women did it from the ancient past, how other priestesses and people did it from the ancient past. And I was like, okay, that's where I'm messing up at. So I just wanted to come forward with that because it's not as if I didn't think of that myself. I thought of it, in the very beginning, like, oh, yeah, I'll do it for free. It's no big deal. I'll help people. I just want to help people. Yeah, but then they start using you. That's where the energy comes in at. And you find yourself drained after a while. You find yourself drained and you find yourself resentful because you're helping, and nobody is putting back into you. Nobody's pouring back into you. Nobody's asking you, how are you? Do you need some advice? Do you need some help? How are you feeling? Can I come bring you a pie? Can I come take you to the market? No, they're not going to do that. If you don't demand it, they're not going to do it. They're just going to take and take and take and take. So I was like, okay, this is what needs to happen. And that was a long time ago. We talking like 2000, 10, 9, something like that. When I came to that realization, I realized that a long time ago, and I stopped it. I completely stopped it. So I just wanted you guys to know that, because I heard that a lot. I hear that like twice a week, literally. I hear that one, and it's another one I hear. You should never buy your own tarot deck. I hear those two myths all the time. It does not matter if you buy your own tarot deck. I will get into that in another video, but those two myths I hear all the time. If you want a tarot deck and you got the time to sit and study tarot, go ahead and buy yourself a damn nice tarot deck and go for it. You don't have to wait for somebody to gift you a tarot deck. That was the way that they did it in the old times. They did do it that way, and that's because the person that gifted it to you typically was your teacher. So they would do it that way. But it's not as if it's not going to work if you don't do it that way. You can still learn and use tarot. That was just a tradition that was used early on, and for probably a great number of decades, and maybe some circles still do it that way, but you don't have to. If you buy one on Amazon, it is not going to kill you. It's not going to not work. The cards are not going to not talk to you. The only thing is, if you got the ability and you got the time to learn the symbols, the cards will talk to you. Period. So those two misconceptions are the two that I hear the most in the spiritual community. And I just wanted to address the former one mostly, because it's one that I think is very harmful to people. And it's also one that I hear, regurgitated the most often. And I just wanted people to know, who are either receiving readings or giving readings, that is not the case. Now, if you're receiving readings, I could understand, not wanting to pay $4 million for them. If you're receiving readings, I would say shop around. Look for people who are really good. Through word of mouth typically is a good way. Their reviews online, whatever the case is. And look and shop around. You'll find different prices. There are some people who will charge as little as $10, and some people who will charge as much as $400. There's lots of different ways to, find something that's within your budget. But don't expect people to help you for free if you're not willing to give them an energy exchange. And don't try to get over on them. If they're really for real, they know you're trying to get over on them. So find somebody that's in your price range. Like I said before, there are people who read for free all the way up to, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, I think the most I've ever seen might have been like $1,500 an hour. And that's for somebody who's like a celebrity on TV and, doing all, the big stuff. So, something like that. But like, there are people who won't charge you. There are people who, like I said, do it for free. There are people who will charge you $10, 15, 25, all within that gamut. It just depends on what they think they're worth. You see what I mean? And you can find somebody who's good, who's willing to, I know I met one person who asked for donations. They just wanted a donation, whatever you could spare. If you couldn't spare that much, that was fine. If you could spare $5, they would take it. So different people do different things, and you just have to just look and find somebody who's good and is in your price range. That's all. But don't use people and don't do that. Don't do that. Especially when it comes to spirituality. It's not the right energy you want to bring to it. If you bring forth the energy of the user and you're trying to come into spirituality, it's always going to evade you because you're not coming with the right spirit. You're coming with a user's spirit. Don't ever go into anything with a user's spirit. Okay, that's my word on it. Take it or leave it. Deuces.